All right, video here on the second box on the back for you lesson 1.6. And here we go, we're working with the discriminant. And so far we've only used the discriminant to see whether or not something is factorable. It's the part that's underneath the radical in the quadratic formula. So underneath the radical you'd have b squared minus 4ac. And so one thing again that we've used it for is to see whether or not a quadratic equation is factorable. But another use for it is to see how many solutions we have for that equation. So let's run through these. Our first one, if b squared minus 4ac ends up being less than 0, which means negative. So if this ends up being negative, then it means you have two imaginary solutions, or two complex roots. Okay, your graph for this, there's nothing wrong with the graph at all. It's just a parabola opening upward and is above the x-axis, or a parabola opening downward and being below the x-axis. See, there's no roots. It never touches the x-axis, and so we would get two imaginary roots, or two imaginary solutions. Again, the graph does not cross the x-axis. Not cross or not even touch the x-axis. All right. Another situation we can have is where b squared minus 4ac is greater than 0, so that would be positive. If b squared minus 4ac is positive, then that means you have two real solutions. On that graph there, would have something opening upward, where we have a root here and a root here. Those are solutions. Or opening downward, but still, again, crossing the x-axis two times, because it's going, the vertex is down below, and here the vertex is up above. We have two solutions on each of these. So here the graph crosses the x-axis in two places. And we don't need to see the graph. Remember, what we're actually learning right now is just that just by seeing that the discriminant is positive, we know that it has to cross the axis in two spots. Our last possibility is when b squared minus 4ac is equal to 0. It's not positive or negative. It's just 0. And that means we have one real solution. Here's the graph for that. That either the vertex is on the x-axis and it's opening upward, or the vertex is on the x-axis and it's opening downward. And so the vertex of the graph is on the x-axis, and it's the only x-intercept. The only x-intercept, and that's the only solution if b squared minus 4ac is equal to 0. Back up here we had two x-intercepts, and for the imaginary solutions we have no x-intercepts. All right, hope that helped.